Welcome to the Math 1 lesson summary video for the task, What Does It Mean?
A solidify understanding task. And the purpose of this task, as you can see at the top, is to solidify student understanding of arithmetic sequences through the process of finding missing terms in a sequence. So remember, the key aspect of an arithmetic sequence is that it has a constant difference, which we call the common difference, and we refer to that as. And that's what's going to allow us to do everything in this task, is knowledge of that idea. So I'm going to look at three possible ways students might think about this, and I'm only going to do two examples because this process will work for the rest. So once you have the concept, you'll be able to finish it out. So one way is to look and say, I got to fill in this table. I know what's in between 18 and negative 10. It's 4. And then I know what's in between 18 and 4. It is 11. And I know what's in between 4 and negative 10. It's negative 3. And that's cool. That's a good strategy to start with. But if you go down to the second set of problems, problem 5 through 7, in tables such as number 6 down here, if I want to know the number in between 1 and 6, right in between 40 and 10 is 25, but that's not actually helpful because I have an even number of spaces in between the two numbers that I want to know. So that strategy ceases to work in those scenarios. It works when you have an odd number of gaps in between the two numbers, but not when you have an even number of gaps. So let's talk about some other strategies students might use. So student 2 here might figure out the same values by thinking about it this way. Well, I know that I can figure out how far I need to travel from 18 down to negative 10. And I figure that out by doing negative 10 minus 18, which is negative 28. So I need to go down by 28. And I know that to get there, I have to do 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. So 28, a decrease of 28 broken into 4 steps would be 7, going down by 7 in each step. And so that means that the common difference is going to be negative 7. Well, guess what? 18 minus 7 is 11. 11 minus 7 is 4. 4 minus 7 is negative 3. Negative 3 minus 7 is negative 10. So, well done. That strategy works. Student 3, another student might say, I know that we've been writing explicit rules for arithmetic sequences and we've always had the starting number plus some common difference times the number that we want in the sequence. And so the common difference we don't know this time, we'll represent it as D, and we have 4 steps. So we're doing the difference 4 times from 18 to get down to negative 10. And we could write an equation like this, and then we could solve this equation. So subtract 18 on both sides. We get 4D equals negative 28. Divide by 4 on both sides, and by the same strategy we get D equals negative 7. So both students have valid strategies that work, and that would get us to fill in the table in the same way. And the nice thing about these two strategies, as opposed to the find the middle strategy, is that they'll continue to work no matter whether the number of spaces is odd or even. So let's summarize student 2's strategy into a general formula that's going to work all the time. So what they've done is they've taken the last number in the list, call it f of n. They've subtracted the first number in the list, call it f of 1, and then they've divided by the number of gaps in between, which we could represent as n minus 1, because up here the fifth number was found based on 4 gaps, which is 1 less. So the number of gaps between the starting number and the last number is always going to be 1 less than the final number. Student 3's strategy could be represented, so that was to find the common difference. So I need to put a D equals common difference equals. Student 3's strategy is really just the same thing but broken down in a different way. So they've said I take the starting number f of 1 plus D times n minus 1, and from that I get the final number. In this case, it was negative 10, and f of 1 was starting at 18. So either way, either formula is going to work. So let's just see what it would look like to apply those two formulas in problem 6. So for problem 6, if I use student 2's formula, the blue formula, so I would have f of n in this case is down here. That's going to be 10 minus 40 divided by 6 minus 1 is 5. So that's going to be negative 30 divided by 5. It tells me that the difference is negative 6. Similarly, if I use the orange formula, starting at 40 plus d times n minus 1, so 6 minus 1, which is 5, and that's going to need to equal 10. So we get 40 plus 5d equals 10, and then we subtract 40 on both sides, and we get 5d equals negative 30, divide by 5, and we get d equals negative 6. So from that we can start at 40. Notice they both got the same answer. Negative 6 over here, negative 6 over here. So we can just decrease by 6 every time. So 40 minus 6 is 34. 34 minus 6 is 28. 28 minus 6 is 22. 22 minus 6 is 16. And 16 minus 6 is 10. Thank you for watching. If you need help with the Ready, Set, Go problems for this task, please check out the student support site in Canvas with Ready, Set, Go aligned support videos.